Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roysum. I am super excited to begin a new mini-series based on our new must-have Web Handling Handbook. We will begin our series with a discussion of an ever-popular topic, wrinkling. In this clip, we will start the process by showing how to see and then how to describe wrinkles using words. I know your time is precious, so let's get started. So why should we learn how to see and then describe wrinkling? The most obvious answer is that wrinkles are one of the top 3 causes of waste, delay, and customer complaint, and thus deserves attention to the details. Second is that wrinkles can be diagnosed long before anyone would complain, but only if you can see at less severe levels than you would normally reject on. A close analogy is preventative maintenance, which seeks to avoid unnecessary downtime by getting ahead of the imminent failure mode. Finally, words matter. While pictures can sometimes be worth 1,000 words, pictures are not a very compact way to communicate within your plant and between customer and supplier plants. In the case of wrinkling, words really matter because, as we will see in the next clip, most wrinkle types have a very specific name. With each specific type of wrinkles, we have a specific and often quite unique remedy list. In short, a wrinkle is not a wrinkle, is not a wrinkle, and neither are the corresponding remedies. My definition of wrinkling is when the web is not dead flat, like a tabletop or a pane of glass. So, who has webs that flat, you say? No one. But that is not the point. So the troubleshooter will be looking for shadows in the web run, often long before complaints occur, for telling clues as to the wrinkle type and thus preventative remedy list. QA, on the other hand, will let pass many wrinkles of less severity based on some judgment of what their customers will tolerate. In short, the troubleshooter and QA are both looking at the same mechanics with different levels of sensitivity. Long before we ever get to determining why the web is not dead flat, we need to describe where do we first see the web not dead flat. As seen in Figure 9.1 from our must-have Web Handling Handbook, we have 3 different locations, each with a corresponding level of risk or severity. At the least severe risk, the web is only not dead flat in the open web span preceding the roller, but gets flattened on the roller itself. This is where the troubleshooter often does their best work, because they can often see risk long before anyone complains. At the more severe end, the web may not contact the roll everywhere. This we might call a QA wrinkle, because it is often the level that they would reject on. Yes, some blown films can tolerate this every day on every roller. However, most film grades will be rejected at this level, even if the web survives the transit. The reason is that the web will be usually permanently marked in the process. Worse yet, a wrinkle like this will often cause a web break on metal, foil, or on paper. If the problem is more severe, a crease or foldover can be expected. Those paying quite close attention will notice that the roller-oriented language used here for the where of wrinkling. This makes sense because sometimes the roller itself is not right and is thus the root cause of the wrinkles. Other times, something is not right about the web itself and thus will not make it readily over some or most rollers, even if the rollers themselves are good or even perfect. However, this roller-oriented language really makes a lot of common sense because you can teach that to the operators who spend more time down on the machine than you do, and thus can narrow down the places where you need to spend more time and effort. As a closing note, we will not use the words hard wrinkle and soft wrinkle for severity because those words are much abused. We'll instead give you better measure severity in an upcoming clip. The Web Handling Handbook has many pages on how to improve your ability to see wrinkling and thus get ahead of the problem. Figure 9.5 from the book shows just one example of how to use a light booth to separate the web from machine issues. Light booths are further elaborated in my Web 401.22c clip on this All Web Handling channel of YouTube. Finally, I teach how to better see in the wrinkling module of my award-winning and trademarked Web 101 class that has been taken by 5,000 students just like you. Since seeing is described in such detail in those two resources, we need to do nothing further here, and we'll move on to word descriptions. As we began this clip, we noted that while pictures might be worth 1,000 words, pictures are not a very compact way to communicate. Thus, we teach, by example, how to describe wrinkling quite precisely using only words. I will just read only one example from our Web Handling Handbook. We sometimes see a walking diagonal wrinkle on the right side of our number 13 idler roller, especially when we run a thinner web or at a higher tension. This short sentence shows us where the wrinkle is first seen, what the major wrinkle type is, and consequently what remedies with web machine mechanicals, and web machine controls might be useful. As a closing note, the Web Handling Handbook has several pages on how to obtain and preserve physical samples of wrinkling. Thus, with a combination of good lighting and well-taken photographs and well-crafted words and well-preserved physical samples, we have much of what we need to get started in troubleshooting of this most common problem. Thank you so very much for joining me in this mini-series showcasing some of the crown jewels of our new book. Stay tuned for the next clip where we will detail how to classify wrinkles, which then leads to appropriate remedy lists for your specific wrinkle type. If you have a topic you would like to hear about, let me know in the comments section below. If you found anything interesting or useful here, please like and share and subscribe. See you next time.